Good morning, welcome to our homestead and welcome inside of our garden. When summertime hits, it's hot, it's humid, and most gardeners just stop planting. But friends, that's not the right thing to do. You can still plant in this hot, humid weather. Today we're going to talk about 9 different things you should be planting right now in July, even if it's 100 degrees outside. Let's talk about it. Now, if you've just harvested some of your spring vegetables out of your garden beds, you kind of need to refresh those a little bit with some compost or some compost tea. We need to get some nutrients back in the soil. So a little bit of compost does actually go a long way. You can add just an inch to the top and that should be sufficient. If you don't have any compost readily available, you can make compost tea. And this has been sitting around for a few weeks and all it is grass clippings in water. That's it. I'll tell you how to make it in a future video. You can get that microbial activity back into your soil, especially if it's been covered up for a little while. And with some of these seeds, you want to keep them very moist in this hot weather because that is going to help them germinate. Some don't germinate very well if that soil dries out. So I will teach you another trick for one of those seeds. Now let's talk about what all of those are. Now the very first one are pole beans. Pole beans absolutely love the heat, and so do bush beans. We have both of them in the garden right now, and I did plant them a little earlier than normal. But you can absolutely plant them in July. They're gonna come up quickly, and they're gonna absolutely thrive in the heat. It's about 100 degrees out in Texas right now, and you can see these are flowering out for a second harvest. And these Blue Lake pole beans do incredibly well, and they grow very quickly. Now some of these, like the beans, absolutely love the heat, but some actually don't. So why am I planting them? And that's because some things, like a summer bib lettuce that is slow bolting, will actually give you some young, tender leaves that you can harvest right away, essentially baby lettuce. Now it's going to come up fast and you need to keep on the harvest, but it is absolutely wonderful to plant at this time. And friends, what we do right now in July is going to determine our fall garden, even here in Zone 8B, Texas. And that's going to involve some crops like carrots, which grow for a little bit longer and thrive early on in the heat, but then need those cooler temperatures into the fall to cool down and solidify those sugars in the roots. You know what I mean. But before I show you the carrots, let's go back here and I'm going to show you 2 plants that absolutely thrive and love the hot, humid Texas summer. And one of those is okra. We've got 2 this year. We've got the Jing and the Heavy Hitter. Now we have also already planted these because we wanted to keep this area where we planted our potatoes and onions covered. So these went in almost immediately after we harvested those. But you can absolutely plant those right now in July. Okra is notorious for not germinating unless it has very warm soil temperatures, just like peppers. So this needs 85 degrees Fahrenheit temperature to germinate. And it's 100 out, so perfect. Now next to our okra, we've got something that's absolutely made for these hot southern summers. And that is southern peas or runner beans. If you are unfamiliar with these, you probably know what a black-eyed pea is. That is not actually a pea, even though they call them peas. It's a southern runner bean. For us, we plant the Texas cream zippers. They are absolutely wonderful and my favorite. And you can see we interplanted them with our okra because that okra will get about 5 feet tall, and the beans will be on the south side of those and they will start to lay down and cover everything. Sometimes I have to pause a lot and wait for the tractors to pass. They are quite loud. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about, everybody loves, and that is the sweet potato. So we are just getting some of our slips going. These actually are volunteers from last year. I still need to uncover and prep this bed, but I noticed we had some volunteers, so I moved it off to the side and let them grow. But this is how we normally grow our sweet potato slips. So once my bed's prepared, I will start to break these off and replant them. Essentially, if you see the potatoes sprouting in your house, stick it down in the ground, about halfway, and the slips will start to grow out the top. Now this one you might not think will work in the summer heat, but again, it's like the lettuce. you pick them when it's very small. And that is arugula. And you can see this is my spring planting of arugula. We're gonna plant some more today. These have already bolted, flowered out, and they are forming the seed pods. But interestingly enough, lots of fancy restaurants actually serve the flowers. They're edible. And they have that beautiful peppery taste, just like the leaves. And the heat will help them come up quickly. So if you want those quick harvests, those leafy vegetables that don't bolt super fast are the ones to go with. Okay, we've got sweet potatoes, okra, southern peas, beans, lettuce, and arugula. Now the next one I want to talk about, I actually don't have in the garden this year, but it absolutely loves the heat and you can plant them right now for a fall harvest, and that's peanuts. Now peanuts aren't going to work for everybody. You need a very specific sandy soil for them. But down here, Zone 8B Texas, they thrive. And all of you in 8B along the East Coast, like in the Carolinas and Georgia, of course, you're planting peanuts. Something else that thrives in the heat and actually lasts through the winter, these are absolutely amazing. Every gardener should have these in their garden, and that is green onions. These have been here for 4 or 5 years. A subscriber gave them to me. They're called Egyptian walking onions. Now there are many different varieties of green onions. You don't necessarily need this one, but these are doing incredibly well. I come out here in the summer, they're fine. I come out here in the winter, they're fine. I'm always picking green onions for whatever dish I have inside. You will not go wrong with planting these. Okay, last but not least is one of those winter veggies that you should start right now. A lot of people don't think about that, and that is carrots. Now, if it is too hot out like it is right now, they won't germinate well, but we have a trick for that. And this is a perfect time to start prepping your fall garden with veggies like this. Okay, in our new compost here that we just laid down, we've got this small trough, or some people call it a drill. We're gonna gently distribute these throughout our drill. We don't want them too close together, but we do want a decent amount. We're gonna cover over our carrot seeds and water them in. And now we are going to use the board trick. You can see I put down a couple of bricks, and that's to hold the board up off of those seeds just a little bit. Now what this board is going to do is give these seeds some much needed shade. That will help keep that soil temperature just a tiny bit cooler on the top so that they can germinate. Once they germinate, you can take the board off. And then those carrots will have these beautiful warm temperatures to actually shoot up pretty quickly. So friends, if you think you can't plant anything in these ridiculously hot temperatures, think again. Because if you focus on a few things for your summer garden and start to prep your fall garden, you can actually do a lot of planting in the summertime. We hope that was helpful for you, and I really want to see you plant your summer gardens. If you have any questions, please leave them for me in the comment section below. Now click here for our other planting guides for Zone 8B. Have a beautiful, blessed day. We'll see you next time.